In the field with Mark. We are going to do a walkthrough to make sure that everything was installed per plan. Well, we're on our way to Hayward, and we just passed the Contra Costa County line. Well, I'm probably only about 15-20 minutes out from Hayward, but I didn't really expect this. It's a little bit wet, but we'll have to see. Maybe not the best day for a landscape site review. This is all about irrigation. Downtown Hayward. Here's the plan that we are going to review in the field.
Well, here we are at the site, job site. It's a little bit wet to be doing a site review, but have to do it today. So, if you can look out a little bit, you will see they have a combination here. We're making sure, well, one, we're making sure that everything is put in per plan. But you can see just past my jacket there that there is a RWS, which is per plan, and also there's some 6-inch pop-ups, and have our 1401 bubbler. So they're doing 2 of those per tree, and it looks like 1 for 2 RWSs. So those are installed per plan.
So RWS stands for root watering system. That's about 18 inches tall. They also have in the planters some 1401 bubblers.
I'll walk on over here, see if we can find some drip. Oh, there we go. There's our XFS CV line. And if we get down here on our knees a little bit, you can actually see there's the emitter. Now, usually the way this is done, if you can see on here, it's going to come in like this, and there's going to be about an 18-inch space between here and here, or 12-inch, depends on what they specified. I'll take a look at the plan. And also you'll see the fittings. I think I might just have one here. Here's what the fitting looks like. This is made for our fittings tool, which looks like this, to make it easier to install. So you can actually snap that in and then go ahead and put that into the drip line itself. But in this particular case, I looked a little bit further and I saw that the fittings that they actually have are these, which are competitors' fitting, but they do not work with this tool. And since they do not work with this tool, that is one thing that was specified Rainbird, but didn't go in Rainbird. You can also see there's typically a flush valve on one side, which would be, this is the exhaust header and supply header. A little tough to see. Pick those up, make sure we don't leave a mess. Of course, I had to show you that because I dug down first and then.
Okay, what you saw again in the field was the XFS CV drip line, which stands for extra flexible subsurface check valve drip line, and also
took a look
the
at that
fittings.
and undid it. Let's take a look at this too. It's nice. Here's a valve box. The unfortunate thing is this valve box is not ours. This is a Carson valve box. There are some basic differences between that valve box and Rainbird's, and you can see, well, maybe you can see, I hope you can see, this rain, it does make it a little bit tricky to do a site visit, but I will do my best. See, there's not a lot of area here. You'll see when I pick this up. But the valve box may not be right, but you can see they already have the line going to the 2-wire. It's a 2-wire LXD system. You can also see our 1.5-inch control zone kit. That is definitely per plan.
what you just saw was the 1.5" inline control zone kit. The 1.5" is for high flow situations. This particular one has a screen filter, but we also offer a disc.
You walk over, you want to spot check a few trees, and sometimes you got to dig down a little bit, but as you can see that there is a bubbler on that tree just like the other tree, and there'll be an RWS, but a lot of this is buried by bark, so I'll bring some equipment along. Those are my tools for digging. Well, all in all, those are the main parts of a system, and we will verify the other areas by doing a combination of a visual and actually seeing the real product itself. See, it's actually fairly nicely done. A couple of trees might be having trouble, but it looks like they're coming back. Put some rocks around for the drainage. Again, you look at the valve box, and it's, yep, it's another Carson. That's okay, that's something that we can get them on next time. So we should maybe go through this parking lot, see what's happening here. Looks like the drainage is doing what it needs to be doing. And again, you'll see some trees where we do expect to find the RWS and also the 6-inch pop-up, which I think you'll be able to see down here. Let's see if we can see it within the grass. We've already verified it on a couple. So we may not need to do this, but I think I found one. There's an RWS right there. You can see that. So everything's installed per plan. And as far as I know, I don't think they did on the valve boxes, but they did on the fittings. It may not seem like much, but these fittings that we have tend to stay on a lot better because they go on more easily. So that was a good walkthrough. Just want something indicative of the whole area. For the most part, it's pretty rare that you dig around and you look and see what's there. It's right on one side of the building and wrong on the other. As long as we do the basics, we get a pretty good idea. The controller itself I would check, but there is nobody here today to open that up. But I heard from somebody that one of our cams, Sylvia, she'd been here previously and said yes, it has been installed correctly at these, look like condominiums. I think I'm fairly unscathed, depending. Well, we won't be needing much water today, but when we're ready, unless you want to leach salt, some people will do that. Turn on the irrigation a little bit extra to leach salts out. See here too, just so you can see it, it's a pretty long path with some vines, and nicely done. Had decent success. The only other thing I saw here was in some of these small round valve boxes are air relief valves, and those are not necessary. Let's see if we can get in here. Look at one. It's an NDS box. And if you can see that, trying to get up over, but that's an air relief. So we'll cover that back up. And I think we'll go back to the vehicle. Maybe next time I'll pick a little bit better weather so I can really get into those planters. Also, you can see there, right there's an RWS, and there is a bubbler inside of there. So maybe we take a look at that. Looks like I think it just slowed down now that I did all that. And we can take a screwdriver, just regular Rainbird screwdriver. And if we want to open this, you'll see this. You just pull back here. It should pop it right up. We do one over here. The nice thing is there are no screws in this. Like some, they have screws, and then what ends up happening with those is you end up having an issue because it's easy to vandalize. Man, my hands are a little bit cold. So you look in there and there's a bubbler. Take that out, and you can also get this with a check valve if you want to. And there's a screen. This particular one does not have a check valve. Definitely need to have that. And there's the bubbler. You can see inside there pretty well. All right. And I think that's most of what I have to show you today. You can also, by the way, tell the difference. You can pretty much tell the difference in the two, especially the XFS with the copper chip and the copper plastic versus just the dark brown plastic. This is, again, in this case, it's a competitor, because you can also see there's their fittings. And I showed you before. Let's get down in here. There's an air relief, so you can see it. That's what it looked like in that round valve box. There's our fitting. And there's our fitting with our fittings tool, which definitely makes it a lot easier to go in. In fact, just to demonstrate, if you want to see what we do, we can take these wings, wing it, then we can take this, and you just take it, and you rock it till it grabs. And once it grabs, you go in the whole way and then take it out. That's it. That's how you do that. Is there anything else I can show you? Yeah, I could show you one little thing. It's a little muddy, but we also have something called a QF header that they could have used in here. It wasn't specified. The way they did it was just like this. That's it. That's what they used, a grid, which is fine, but they could have used a QF header, which has an adjustable fitting. Look at this. You can put it any direction you want. It also has some bendability versus PVC, and these are at 12 or 18 inches on center, and this itself is at 3/4 or 1 inch, depending on the flow that you have. All right, thanks again for your time. We shall close this up, and let's be on our way. Well, here we are, leaving downtown Hayward. It's a nice little sign. I like it. I like the arch. What do you guys think? Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to answering your questions.